first time today the sun tries to peek through at Phillip Island. It really throws up the tyre combos to run. Whether or not to have taken the chance and gone with slicks, intermediates, we'll soon find out. They're all facing towards the ocean, and we're 3 seconds away from the start. Round number 4 of the Shell Touring Car Nationals. Seton, and it's Jones down the outside, and it's Bowe. A horrible start from Thomas Mazzera. Brock almost got up amongst them too as they come running downhill. The two PJ Falcons, nice side for their team sponsors. They've had a wretched season so far. Perkins goes in on the outside of Richards as they make their way down to the left-hander.
Fantastic start there from Alan Jones after that terrible run early in the morning. He's leading the pack through as they pick their way through these changeable weather conditions. The track's been changing all day, and there's a whole new scenario for them here. Look at the pack as they shuffle through the back part of the circuit up toward Honda Corner for the first time. And
a good start there from a couple of the privateers who are up amongst it. They haven't left anyone behind today. There's Thomas Mazzera coming back on the inside of John Bowe. Horrible start. Bowe gets sideways on the exit. They run down to the left-hander. Beautiful car, this new HRT Commodore. Very fast here over the past 2 days. And, of course, John Bowe has been the man who has dictated the pace in the championship series so far.
That was a real lunge from Thomas Mazzera, uncharacteristic almost, but he certainly edged out John Bowe in the middle of Honda, and has gone on to take third spot nicely. Track fairly dry. I don't think there's no rooster tails, which is an indication that a lot of the fellows, if they chose slicks, are not in trouble at the moment, but the skies are so gray, anything can happen throughout the race.
Johnson making a move there on Larry Perkins. Rocky up amongst them as well. Now they'll be coming in to reel off the first lap, and just look, this man is on the move.
Just absolutely pounced as we take for the front of the Castrol Commodore. Skaife sneaks through the drop as well. Larry quite slow out of that corner onto the main straight the first time around, but it's Alan Jones in control here in car 35. His teammate Peter Jackson in second. Then Thomas Mazzera, and a revitalised Thomas it is this weekend with a brand new HRT Commodore. The guy's really pumped, and he's thoroughly enjoying driving this motor car.
He's driving it extremely well, Mark. He's pushing it. And as you say, pumped. He appreciates that he's got a $500,000 car under him to do something with, and he's translating that into lap times. This is the best we've seen Thomas all year. Look at that drift.
Fascinating thing here too is the tyre battle. All these teams have Phillip Island as their nominated test circuit. They're also all on Bridgestone tyres, and right from the first session on Friday, these Bridgestone teams have dominated the timesheets.
Well, I think it was only a matter of time that the devastation of the Dunlop factory and the Kobe earthquake was going to have a demoralizing effect. And certainly Bridgestone have caught Dunlop and passed them here this weekend. But the Shell team not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Only the second lap. Let's get a little heat into these tires. Fellas will settle down. They've had an atrocious weekend trying to get their feel for their cars. And this is really one of the first dry sessions you can see as we take.
Ooh. Come on, get on with it.
Come on, John.
Takes a little snap at the back of his teammate there. John Bowe ahead as we take Dunlop race cam aboard Dick Johnson's car 17. And you can see DJ really wants to get on with it here as he gets right in behind John Bowe. Has a look down the inside. Bowe moves over to cover his territory. He's not going to let the boss muscle through too easily here. And meanwhile, these Bridgestone cars leap away at the front. These are the first of the Dunlop runners in 56.
Here comes Brock.
Out of nowhere.
Brock splits the pair of Falcons as they run downhill, and those Bridgestones are running like a house on fire here today.
And Skaife's going with him. He gets muscled out by Bowe there, but Skaife, the first of the Yokohama runners too, making plenty of inroads. Both the Yokohama and Dunlop teams wanted the conditions to be dry, and boy, at the moment it's fallen into their lap. The track is dry, conditions still pretty cold, but boy, the cars are performing very well in these conditions.
I'd say Johnson would be filthy about this. He was making the move on JB. JB held him up, and the rest of them got him under brakes. So Thomas Mazzera closes up behind Glenn Seton in car number 30. Alan Jones is running away with this early in the piece. I don't know whether they'll be able to bring him back to the pack. In the meantime, Glenn defending rather solidly second place.
He is defending it too, and this will be taking his mind off the job. He set fastest time ever in his career down here to take pole, but here's Mazzera hounding him.
tell you what, last time around, Alan Jones 2 seconds faster than this pair, running within a tenth of a second of each other. So Jones, he's really got the pedal to the metal, as they say, and running away at the front. But Peter Brock, tremendous charge here.
Brocky said he was running the hardest tyre that Bridgestone makes, so certainly in due course he's not going to be afraid to throw his car around if he's got durability on his side. Look here, lunging up on the back of Thomas, getting the slipstream again of 2 cars in front of him. He'll be able to slingshot himself down the straight here.
Hasn't he got some speed on this thing? He comes up behind Mazzera, looks down the middle. He's probably going to look for the copybook move. He's right alongside Mazzera. No shortage of horsepower from 05. Good exit from the corner onto the main straight. He tucks down inside his teammate up behind Glenn Seton, so he takes over 3rd position.
Absolutely flying through that turn 1, one of the fastest corners in Australia.
And he's going to do it again.
Round the outside.
Round the outside of...
Feels very, very confident. Look, the car's not wiggling at all. He's just placing it where he wants, and honestly went by the other blokes like they were in a Kowloon bloody march.
Well, the John Bowe is in for tyres, whatever he had on out there. Obviously and painfully was not working, so he's had to come in as Mark Skaife comes up and says, "Look at my tail." Thomas says, "Yeah, great. See mine."
They're over in the dirt. One of them, one of the HRT cars was in the dirt.
Well, Johnson did a terrific, Skaife did a terrific job to hang on to it there. He gives the HRT car a little tap into the bargain. Johnson tried to capitalise, but Skaife, a tremendous recovery there out of Honda corner.
The thing I like about this, some of the other categories of motorsport rely on PR.
And look at Tony Longhurst.
The wide leaders do it.
And Longhurst actually had a slide off in the warm-up lap, and I wouldn't be surprised if he actually started towards the back of the field. So they come downhill again. Skaife comes down under Thomas Mazzera, who tries to come back. Johnson said, "No way."
Well, Mazzera's fading. There's no doubt he's not running the way he was. He may have an engine problem. I don't know.
There was a difference in the tyre setup. Thomas went for the softer of the 2 Bridgestone compounds. He's coming into the pits now, so he'll probably change to the harder compound that Brocky chose for this first heat. So Brock now in the box sees he tracks down. This is the battle behind, and Mark Skaife coming to increasing fire from Dick Johnson, as Dunlop race cam shows you quite graphically. Has a look on the outside as they come through this dauntingly fast turn 1, 240, 250k, and a straight line. Longhurst capitalises now. Tony on a real charge in the Yokohama shot Falcon. Goes around the outside of Skaife, and there's plenty of action in the pits as Seton heads pit bound.
Obviously, they were not happy with their choice, but look at here, Longhurst around the hard side, the outside of Southern Loop.
Tremendous commitment from Tony Longhurst as he hangs on the ragged edge outside through that corner up toward Honda corner.
John Sawzak and the boys had smiles from ear to ear today. The Castrol team doing good. And Tony looking sensational here.
Whoa, he's gone. He did it last time. He practiced it last lap, and this time couldn't hold it. Just trying to stay with Longhurst there. The 2 Yokohama boys. Mark probably felt that he could stay with that kind of grip, but Longhurst had the feel for that corner and just took it.
And the privateers were almost enveloping them, so he's got going again.
How much action do you want in the first laps? There's only 4 laps into this
Have a
class.
look. Here it goes, right in front of Johnson. The 2 is blue replay.
It happens in a hurry.
Dick just got through there. They're starting off to say there was that much happening. Some other categories need PR releases to hype up their act.
Well, Brocky's just recorded a lap of 6/10 quicker than Jones there, so Brock the fastest man on the track at the moment. But
Let's
Jones
have
has
a look.
opened up a gap of 6 seconds over Brock at this stage.
Look what's happening here. Here comes Brocky.
And Tony Longhurst.
Yeah, this is the best move, the best position for a Yokohama shot car in ages, and Tony's best run since he's developed this new car.
Longhurst is on an absolute flyer here. Only qualified 9th. He pushed his way through Brock. Thanks very much. Has this thing got some power and has it got some grip?
Well, they'll be sending those tires back to Yokohama next week to find out what's in them, that's for sure.
Well, Yokohama's been experimenting with some new compounds at Phillip Island this weekend. Tony, very, very confident about his race setup, even though he wasn't quite cutting the mustard in qualifying. And boy, hasn't he proven it here. Up to 2nd position, starting out of 9th on the grid.
That's tremendous. No extra help. This is not his test circuit, so what he saw is what he got here at 10 o'clock on Friday morning, and atrocious conditions to try and set the car up. This is really the first decent dry run any of these fellows have had in the last 3 days. Doing a fabulous run here.
Tony has always...
What kind of a car is that again, mate? I'm not sure. Is that a...
Ford.
Oh, is that a Ford? Okay.
Tony has always spoken volumes about his small, very enthusiastic and obviously talented team. The setup on this car is obviously working absolutely fantastically, and he's driving it very, very well. And the amount of speed he's getting out is very impressive.
Well, you'll recall on the fast circuits, he looked fabulous at Sandown in the opening round.
Yes, he did.
That was a wet race. That was the car's first race. And he's done a lot of development on the car since. Didn't shine at Mount Panorama at Bathurst, but by golly, has he got the act together here today.
I'll tell you what, I think he's gone for the gun tyre choice. He's just cut a lap of 1:38.87. That's 4 seconds under race leader Jones and Brock at the moment, and he is gobbling them up.
He's definitely got Jones in sight now. I thought Alan had it his own way and only had Brock to worry about, but that's all over. He's now got the Castro machine well and truly in his. He's in the slipstream already. I would say another lap, you're going to see the Castro car in front.
I'd say less than that. I think it's coming up shortly, like about now.
I think Tony's in another race here. He's got so much speed on board this thing. He's just gobbling up the field. He's up the race leader now. He'll try down the inside over Lukey Heights.
Here we go.
Goes deeper under brakes. Nice clean move. Jones gives him room, and Tony Longhurst takes over the lead at Phillip Island this afternoon. Tremendous drive.
And he's driving away from AJ as well. Look at that. He just put a gap in it.
Mark said it. He's on another. He's in another world.
Tyres.
Jones has come into the pits. I'd say Tony's gone for a pretty aggressive tyre set up here. Judging that the track will continue to dry out. He's cutting laps so much faster than anyone else. Larry Perkins in trouble.
Don't see any smoke, but that doesn't mean anything. He's decided to call it a day. Normally when a driver pulls up without anything happening silently like that, you know it's the oil pressure gauge that's giving him the warning.
Larry Perkins sitting there. There's not much he can do about it. Here's the man who leads the race, Tony Longhurst in the Castrol Falcon, and doing a superb job of it as well. Let's check them out for you on the Shell race score. Longhurst the leader. Neil Crofton in the Coca-Cola Commodore now up to second, as we mentioned. Glenn Seton, the Peter Jackson Falcon, runs in third. John Bowe is fourth, and Tony Scott in the Pinnacle Commodore, one of the privateers, up in the top five. Phillip Island, Tony Longhurst, who went out on slicks, was decimating the opposition. As I said before, the weather changes every 10 minutes. The windscreen wipers are now on because the rain is moving in, and Longhurst will probably be on his way to the pits.
Seton is in second spot behind him at the moment, but a long way back.
And looks like a few of the other teams, well, all of the other teams will be coming in looking for wet weather rubber. Now you've got to take the gamble whether you go full wets or intermediates.
They always said it was going to be a gamble here. They're going for a full cut wet on the Johnson's car. It really is just
you can't blame any driver for asking for that. When it's raining and you're screening, you can't hardly see through the screen. We can't see out the window of the commentary box. These guys have got to have rain tires on, and although it destroys their position in the laps, listen to the chatter. He's ramming it through that 6-speed. There's one gone off.
Wayne Russell in the Roadshield Express Commodore, he's gone off. Couldn't get back to the pits. So unless he can manoeuvre that car around, Longhurst in the meantime, the 25 car heading up to Lukey Hill.
Well, last time around he was still maintaining a 24-second advantage over. So now Tony's coming into the pits as well. The situation out there must be pretty treacherous for him to come in.
Well, we should be able to change 4 tires in about 15 seconds if the crew are obviously sitting there ready. They're probably not that bloody switched on as they would be in a Bathurst situation, but about 15 to 20 seconds he should be able to get out there. Nothing else is causing them any trouble.
Yokohama wet weather tyre, the tread design there, not as aggressive as the Dunlop we saw going into Johnson's car.
Single wheel nuts, those things going on with the big air guns that torque them up to about 500 foot-pound.
So what a disappointment for Tony. As Mike said, these weather conditions just changed by the click of a finger.
This is certainly not 20 seconds. They haven't helped their driver.
No, that's a pretty average stop, come to think of it. Glenn Seton has gone up, but keep in mind, Glenn Seton will be on slicks. He'll be in the next lap around, perhaps.
Well, somewhere in that melee, he may well have ducked into the pits already. We'll have to see how he pushes his way through the wet weather conditions here.
He's looking pretty stable there.
He's inherited the lead. John Bowe in second position, Brock in third, Alan Jones back to fourth. So the order really, look, he's skating around at the moment.
Well, we certainly know that Tony's in a good shape, whether he can recover. He's only in 5th spot. Not that hard to come back down.
Well, he was in 5th. We'll have to keep an eye on the monitor positive because there's been a tremendous mix-up of the placings here as all these teams are coming in and out of the pits. And we'll know the next time the transponders go across the line, we'll pick up their positions. But Seton definitely is the leader of the race at this stage.
John Bowe going a little bit wide there. He obviously taking up every millimetre of the real estate available to him.
The windscreen one looks like it's about to come off. It's working so hard there. It's keeping the water off the screen. Look how fast it's going.
Absolutely jet ranger windscreen wiper.
Got the headlights ablaze too. The conditions getting continually darker here.
Stone prepares these two shell cars, always does an immaculate job. Has a fabulous team behind him naturally, but when you think how many shell championship races we've had, two cars prepared for each one of those rounds.
I got news for him.
Super team.
Phillip called Brock is just gaining hand over fist on him, and I don't think it'll be too long before he's back on his tail again.
Well, this is going to be real exciting because it's getting darker and darker.
Back into the pits for John Bowe, second tyre change.
So Bowe goes into the pits, Brock goes by. He will now move to second. Jones will come up. There's the race leader is in. Glenn Seton, so that puts Peter Brock in front.
John Bowe comes into the pits as well. Trying to keep up with all these tyre changes. They always said the race was going to be like this, Al.
Well, just keeping them all mounted, Mark, the number of wheels. These wheels are all imported. They're $1,800 a piece. Beautifully made. In the case of the Speedline wheels on the Johnson team cars, made in Italy.
Glenn Steer, our pit cameraman, doing a fabulous job. They're catching all of the pit stops as he heads back out again. And golly gee, look who's in front.
Do we know this fellow? What's his name again?
Whoops.
Well, Mark
now,
Poole.
the only other...
Mark Poole, the man who won the Privateers Dash earlier this afternoon. Just out in the grass there, and you can see how slippery it is. He just can't even drive off the grass. So little grip with these tyres. Peter Brock.
He's 05. He's looked through plenty of rainy windscreens in his career.
Well, the man who's running fourth on the road at the moment, Trevor Ashby, the Lansvale Smash Repairs Dulux Auto Colour, number 3 VP. Just look at the gale force winds here now. Ashby, who had an off in the Privateers Dash this morning, came back to run third in the PCR Dash, and he's there in fourth at the moment. So it's jumbled up everything, the pit stops.
Well, the rain certainly, motor racing is the great equaliser, and these guys are doing a tremendous job. The car prepared by Ronnie Gillard up on the North New South Wales coast. The engine's by Wayne Smith, and they run on an absolute fraction of the budget some of these leading teams run on. And Trevor.
And they run everywhere, Mark, to their credit. I've got a lot of admiration for these fellows. They've done a lot. I don't know how many championship races, but really a lot of them, and they go just about as far as they can, stretching their budgets.
He's about to move back to fifth place in a big hurry. John Bowe, lights ablaze with his wet weather tyres on another concerted charge. Sneaks down the inside of Trevor. Oh, Trevor's really struggling for grip here. I'm sure the only reason he's been managed to climb up to fourth is he stayed out there when the others been in and out of the pits, and he'll really suffer now if this rain keeps coming down.
And try and make it back to the pits and get in onto full wets. Because that's what you'll need for the rest of this race.
And it is absolutely bucketing down now. The rain's almost coming in horizontal. This is the strong wind blowing it into the island. This is treacherous stuff.
Driver's perspective, Dick Johnson carries our Dunlop race cam as he moves up on the outside of Tony Longhurst.
Tony gives him a wave through.
Says after you, mate.
Neil Crompton, I'm sorry. So Neil Crompton has moved up on Tony Longhurst.
Just look at that. This is the kind of weather that drives the Clark, of course, mad. The race director, Tim Schinken, will be really concerned, wondering whether he should get the red flag out.
Well, we surmise that Trev may be on slicks, and there's proof of it. He's come off going into turn 10, I think it was, after Lukey Heights here. That's where he's sitting, and he is having no success.
He wants to
getting this thing going in the right direction.
Well, he's reversing. He can keep reversing. He'll drop into the ocean if he keeps going that way. Here's Alan Jones. He's come in for a set of full wets.
Well, these pit crews certainly getting mid-season tire changing practice. Here's a nasty one. Yes.
We've had three of them off.
Wayne Gardner. It looks like one of the Holden cars. Can't tell whether it was Brock or Mazera. And
I hope that's not the brand new 015. And Chris Bird, goodness me, it is Thomas.
Yep. Thomas has gone off.
What he wanted to avoid at all costs this weekend, he told me yesterday, is to put a mark on this car, and he's put plenty. Oh, and Mark Paul, there's 4 cars. I wonder if someone's dropped some oil here, or it's just the intensity of rain.
Yeah, just they've all aquaplaned right off the circuit. Here's Mitre 10 as well.
Mark Larkham in trouble, and there's more cars on the grass and in the fence at the moment than there are on the track. The rain has just opened up. It's an absolute monsoon at the moment.
Even with rain tires, at the speed that these cars are capable of.
And we've just heard from race control, there it is, the race has been red flag. It's the only thing they could do under these circumstances, really.
Once you start aquaplaning, even with rain tires on, you do have an accident waiting to be.
Well, the race has been stopped, 14 laps down. We shall see. Neil Crompton, one of the few survivors.
That's the decision of the race director, Jim Schenker, and he's had plenty of these occasions to know that caution is a wise move.
And medical officers very quickly on the scene here at Phillip Island, and Thomas Mazzera on the stretcher about to be put into the ambulance. Thomas climbed up on the bank, and but he's impacted heavily against, we believe, the tyre wall there. Not sure whether or not he came in contact with another car. So as a precautionary measure, they're taking him to the hospital. There you have the what remains of a brand spanking new Holden Racing Team Mobile Commodore that commenced racing this weekend, and Thomas Mazzera on his way to the ambulance, and they'll take him in for observation. Let's check out with the race declared on lap number 13. The finishing order. Peter Brock declared the winner of the first leg here today. Alan Jones places second in the Peter Jackson Falcon. His team partner Glenn Seton third. Then it's Trevor Ashby in the Lansvale Smash Repairs Commodore. Tony Longhurst fifth in car number 25. Sixth place going to car number 18 John Bowe, the Shell Falcon. Seventh to car number 7 Neil Crompton, the Coke Commodore. Eighth place to Tony Scott on the Pinnacle Motorsport Commodore. Ninth to Paul Romano, the Holden Commodore. And rounding out the 10, Wayne Gardner, car number 4.